As you can see, last unit of the cloud computing is using mobile cloud. So here we'll see how uh, cloud computing is enables today's mobile technologies to various applications, and how smartphones are evolved using these cloud services, because nowadays everything which we say cloud applications which are running on the cloud, data which inside the cloud are all are the microservices consumed by the mobile or any type of devices which has a network connection. So in this chapter, we learn about mobile phones and their interaction with the cloud. So how they are connected to each other, mobile phones as well as cloud. The impact of the cellular phone technology has had a civilization in dramatic. So it has impacted the civilization in a dramatic way. The use of smartphones and the cloud applications. The most popular consumer devices is Nokia, because this book is written in 2009. At that time, the most popular smartphones are the most popular mobile phone is Nokia 1100, which impacted almost all part of the world. So when we say cell phones, it falls into a category. Uh, there are features phone, which are the phones with added capability, and smartphones that runs recognized operating system like Android, iOS, and then Symbian, BlackBerry operating systems. There are two types of phones. One is feature phones. Feature phones are the phones um, uh, which are added capabilities like keypad phones. You can consider keypad phones as a featured phones, and smartphones which has their own operating system in which we can install or uninstall applications as we do it in our normal desktop. And the very important aspects is they have persistent internet connectivity. So smartphones are equipped with the more applications which are internet driven, which has a persistent internet connectivity. So feature phones are being replaced by smartphones. Of course, nowadays nobody uses feature phone. Feature phones, as said, it is a phone with a keypad, with a physical keypad. It's not a smartphone. It does not. It have a operating system, but it is not as capable as the operating system which runs in the smartphones. Smartphones are only a computer that will ever know. Like most of the people, they think that if they have a smartphone, that is a miniature version of the uh, miniature version of the real computers. When it comes to services, cloud services are having major impact on cellular phone technology, because uh, till now what we have studied, we have seen a various services given by the cloud provider, but the major cloud services are impacted on cellular technology or smartphone technology. Our smartphone technology depends more on cloud services. Many smartphones comes with the native applications that consumes web services, many of which is currently deployed in the cloud. So many smartphones comes with the native applications like if you have a smartphones, the smartphones comes with the operating system and also comes with the native applications like Google Map, uh, like any other application like contact, email, you can say Google Photos, and then Dio. These are the native applications which comes with the smartphones. Many smartphones comes with a native application that consumes web services, many of which currently deployed in the cloud. Some of these applications do little more than a point a micro browser at a website that has been specifically formatted for phone consumption. Now every smartphone have a micro browser. You can say Chrome. You can you say uh, popularly used micro browser. The browser which runs in the mobile are called as micro browser services, and many smartphones applications, many smartphones comes with the micro browser applications. Their only aim is to connect to the cloud servers and get the data from the cloud servers, like RSS feeds, like gender feeds, like a notification coming to your smartphones, from the any other feeds, or you can say RSS feed is nothing but when you sync your applications, when you install application in smartphones, it will get the, for example, news applications, sports applications, or gaming applications, which constantly speaks to the cloud services, cloud servers, and pull the data from the cloud server. The five major smartphone operating systems to be considered is Google Android, Apple iOS, RIM BlackBerry, Symbian. Symbian is an operating system which runs in a featured phone. That is the phone with a keypad, physical keypad, and Windows mobile phones. So when I say smartphones, smartphones also comes with uh, these are the popular operating systems, smartphone operating system: Google Android, Apple iOS, RIM BlackBerry, Symbian, and Windows mobile phones. Each of these platforms supports installable applications, and Android and the iPhone supports hundreds and thousands of third-party applications. So each of the smartphones, it also supports native application as well as the application developed by the third party. But the major point here to understand is most of the applications which you install in your smartphones are just a point of contact to the cloud servers. So mobile phones are much more efficient because the applications most of the times runs on the cloud, and the only the services is the end point services is given is accessed by the mobile phones. Now, when it comes to mobile marketing, these are the top countries, which is the survey taken during 2009. So, in 2009, the world population is 6.8 billion people, and the number of mobile phones estimated is to 4.6 billion. So in 2009, among 6.8 billion people, most of 4.6 billion phones were used. This means nearly 68% of people in the world have a cell phones. In some countries, people own multiple phones, and penetration phones appears to be more than 100%. That means this is the market. So in the top 10 countries in which China has 797 millions of population, among which 60.80% of the population use the smartphones, and India has 635 millions, in which 53.8% of the population is using the smartphones, whereas in Russia, 214 millions population, in which 147.3% of the population uses the smartphones. Okay, that is double the, almost equal the rate of population. So these are the just this one. These are the survey conducted in 2009. These are the top countries: China, India, United States, Russia, Brazil, Indonesia, Japan, Germany, Pakistan, and Italy. There are a few other countries also, but these are the countries which provides most of the economy to the smartphone domain. So compared to population and the percentage of population using the smartphones. Okay. Next thing, connecting to the cloud. So one of the important trend feeling the rise of pervasive cell phones, internet access is the availability. That means how the very important aspect of smartphones is the way in which connect the cloud services. So and the way in which the cloud services are available. See, you can this. If you have a smartphone, smartphones can be connected to the internet in various different ways. These are the way. We have a fixed telephone lines, mobile cellular telephone subscription, internet users, and fixed broadband subscription, mobile broadband subscriptions. Now these are the various ways in which mobiles are connected to the internet. I mean different ways to connect to the internet. We have fixed telephone lines, uh, mobile cellular, mobile data packs, uh, and these are the things. See, if you can see, mobile cellular telephone subscription is increased from 98 to 2009. It is increased to 67%. So earlier it was like very this the top line is the mobile cellular data users, whereas another next line is see this one internet users. So as long as the various way of, like, now we have a in smartphone we have a various types of subscription. You can have a data package, you can have a data package at different levels, you can have a data package along with the voice and other things. You can have a permanent internet connection to your mobile phones, which is subscription based. Say, for example, if you pay 300 rupees, you get 2 GB data every day till 30 days, along with the voice package. Or say, if you pay, say, for example, 1,000 rupees, or if you pay 400 rupees, you'll be having 75 GB of data, which you can use it anytime. This connection is called as mobile cellular telephone subscription. Initially, before the smartphones are, when the smartphones are at the initial stage of marketing, people used to use the smartphones to do the calls. But nowadays, people use the smartphones to do the call and also to connect to the internet and to use the internet services. Now, this service is called as mobile cellular telephone subscriptions, which you can see in the diagram in the graph, which is increased because these are the data taken during the 2019 to 2009. So 2009, there are 67% all over the globe. 67% of the people were using mobile cellular telephone subscription rather than fixed broadband or fixed telephone lines. Nowadays, nobody uses fixed telephone lines to do internet or to access the internet. Now, so as you can see, this is how mobile smartphones are connecting to the cloud. Nowadays, most of the people use the smartphones and various applications in their smartphones using mobile cellular telephone subscription mode. That means mobile data, internet data, data packs, you can say. That is, these are the brief history of. Hope you understood this one. Artha aita ida? Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now adapting to a mobile cloud applications. So when you consider the term mobile cloud computing, you are describing the model where processing is done in the cloud, data is stored in the cloud, and the servers, mobile device serves as the presentation platform or display platform. So when I say mobile cloud computing, that means mobile cloud applications. That means we are talking about the model where processing of the many applications are executed on the cloud and the data stored in the cloud. But mobile are used just a presentation platform or is a display where we can see all these applications running in the cloud and their data. For this model to work, a phone, tablet, or a laptop requires a reliable internet connection and the ability to run micro browser or another viewing. So, in order to see all these three applications which is running in the cloud, when I say mobile cloud computing, that means applications running on the cloud, data stored on the cloud. You just need a web browser, micro browser to connect to the internet because using the micro browser or using the browser, we can connect to the internet and we can access the services provided by the cloud provider. Currently, most of the computing applications that runs on the mobile device runs on a local device itself, with a few exceptions. Most of the application in the smartphones runs on the cloud. There are very few applications which does not require any internet connection. They can be run on the smartphones, but there are few exceptions that when I say Google Earth, Google Maps, the major cloud mail services, these applications provides navigation among others because these are the applications which runs heavily on the cloud. Not though you have a application connecting to the cloud. When I run the Google Map, when I run the Google Earth, actually the application is executed on the Google Cloud servers, whereas using our application we can see the activities of we can map the particular location, you can navigate through the map, all these things. Your application just use a navigation to run these applications, but actual applications are running in the Google Cloud servers. So in 2010, a cell phone sales totaled 1.2 billion units, while the smartphones sold 172 million units. Smartphones are currently represented only 14% of overall market. This is the 2009 survey where the smartphones have 172 million units, where the uh, sales of the total smartphones as a featured phones is 1.2 billion units. When you live in the United States, like some of the states like United States, Europe, and other developed countries, you tend to view the world through the prism of your experience. That means many of these countries, before, like these are the developed countries in which most of the peoples are using smartphones or feature phones to connect to the internet and to view the world and to view the applications, are you can say they started using the rich internet applications through their smartphones. Currently, when you want to sell a phone or a smartphone, you directly into the services provider. So, most of the time, we go to the service provider and we buy a smartphone that is supported by the network. To have an application run on different cell phones. Now, this is the difference. Like when the cell phones is started, when the cell phones sales was started in the early era of smartphones, the cellular technology, people developed applications which runs on particular cells. But with the cloud interaction, but with the cloud support, people or developer just need to write the software which can be run on any smartphones. Now that is the major advantage of having cloud with the smartphone technologies. As you can see, to have an application to run on different cell phones types or smartphones operating system, you need Nokia developer, Symbian developer, or Lim developer, or iPhone developer, and so on. So if you want to, though you can, your smartphone can connect to the internet before the cloud to be support, people needed a developer. If you want to develop an application for Symbian, you need a Symbian developer. If you want to develop a application for BlackBerry, you need a Rim developer. You want to develop an iPhone application for iPhone, you need an iPhone developer, and so on. When you develop an application for the cloud, you need just, but in context with this, when you develop application for the cloud, you just need one type of developer, and then all the connected phones can use these applications. So when you think about the cloud, when you develop application for cloud, you don't have to worry about the Symbian developer or Vim developer or operating system specific applications to run your applications on these devices. You just need to worry about how to develop a mobile applications which can run on the cloud. Now this is the major advantage why smartphones are much connected with the cloud, because most of the applications, because as we know that smartphones has a limited capacity, limited processing capacity, limited storage capacity, so we cannot run big applications in the smartphones. But with the help of the cloud, now the smartphone does not the smartphones developer does not worry about these hardware constraints, because most of the applications which takes heavy processing unit and which needs a huge storage amount area can be run on the cloud. Only thing you need is your smartphone is need micro web browser which can connect to your through internet, which can connect to your cloud servers. This is the major advantage of smartphones with cloud technology. So that's why it become distributive or very popular technology for the mobile computing and the cell phone. Hope you understood this point. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Another reason is avoidance of vendor lock-in. When you commit to a cell phone, many people essentially lease these phones at 1 or 2 year commitments. worse than that. I mean, more less than 1 year. The data and the applications they use are associated with their current phone and platform, whereas cloud computing free those hurdles, cell phones, massive to be free from having migrate their data and the app. If you think mobile service provider aren't concerned about the customer being free to vote with their feet, think again. The recent announcement. Now, the meaning of this one is if a person buys a smartphone, he can use the smartphone for 1 or 2 years. During these years, he can use many applications. He'll use many applications and then application data like contact, email, everything. With the advent of cloud computing, uh, the user does not depends on the smartphone because they think that most of the information which are stored in the smartphones are stored in the local smartphones, but with the advent of cloud we can store all the applications and application data like contact, like emails, like your pictures, everything you can store it in a cloud, so that after 2 years if you change your device you can easily download your previous data, your previous applications, your previous photo from one device to any other devices. Now that is the another advantage because cloud has a storage services and computing services. People does not worry about like the local storage of the data which is stored locally on the smartphones. Only thing you need to have a service which is called as sync services in the mobile computing, where you can sync all your application data, all your mobile, all your contacts, all your images, all your informations into the cloud. So that if you change the, yeah, sorry. So these are the important concepts which enables cloud computing along with the cellular technology or mobile technology. Now there are various companies which, like as I said, Salesforce.com, they have Salesforce mobile light applications in which they can use this software, which is light software, mobile software. The application, it means that that whatever the entrepreneurial applications which is designed in the cloud, which runs in the cloud, they can also be run in the smartphones using a mobile light version. So the entrepreneur version of the software is available to the mobile phone as an application, so that we can run the same kind of, we can run the applications in the mobile system also through a mobile light application. Many CRM softwares and Salesforce software, you can install these softwares in the smartphones and you can access the services provided by the Salesforce provider or any other service providers. And these applications which we install in a smartphones are called as light applications, because mobile phones are restricted, or smartphones are restricted with hardware constraints as well as storage constraints. Now we have to study about feature phones. As said, feature phones are the phones which has the physical keypad, hardware keypad. Whereas smartphones are the phones which can have so many features, like you can have their own operating system, you can do many other beautiful operations compared to feature phones. So feature phones are phones have nowhere near the resolution that the current smartphones do. That is, feature phones provides less resolution compared to smartphones, which provides a huge or rich resolution, nor is like that they will be in the near future. The future phone is more capable than a dumb phone, but often it has screen that is limited to text or very low end graphic. Feature phones own 83% of the cell phone market in US as of 2009. As I said, these are all the, this book when it is written, it is 2009. So according to 2009, feature phones market, almost 83% of the market in the US is occupied by the feature phones. The top feature phones during 2009 is Nokia 1100 and Nokia 3210, Nokia 5230, and Motorola Razr V3, 130 millions, whereas these are the figures. But as features phone goes upscale and smartphone extended their market downscale, the industry is beginning to add inexpensive feature phones, the capability to run lightweight operating system such as Oracle, Nissan's Java platform micro edition. They have various applications. These gives the feature phones the capability to run applications such as browser that makes cloud computing on these phones more attractive. So this is just a comparison between the smartphones and the feature phones. So as long as the sales of the feature phone get exceeds the market because of their price bracket compared to smartphones. Uh, Companies like few of the companies they started developing cloud application for this feature for also using, say for example, Oracle developed their applications using Nissan's and Java platform micro editions, which develop applications for featured phones so that they can also run the micro browser to access the cloud services. Qualcomm is slated to add both Opera Mini 5 and Opera Mobile 10 browser to the new mobile platform. So these are like most of the companies started developing a micro browsers like Opera Mini and Opera Mobile 10 browser for these featured phones. Now, feature phones worldwide leader today, but could not rapidly be overtaken as the price of the smartphone declined. Now, this is another advantage. Before, when the smartphones started in the market during 2009, the price of the smartphones were very high, so that the featured phones occupies most of the world market, cellular mobile market. But as the time goes, the price of the smartphone started declining, which enables the trend of using everyone smartphones. Um, Now again, this is a number factors between feature phone and smartphones. Now, when it comes to smartphones with the cloud, so there are some characteristics for the smartphone. A smartphone has recognizable operating system. A smartphone can run installable application. A smartphone offer advanced calling features like video calls or conference. A smartphones offer messaging services. A smartphone comes with a touch screen. The bigger the touch screen, the smarter the phone. The smartphones offers keyboard entity either physically or virtually. Now we have a smartphones which has a physical keyboard as well as virtual keyboard. A smartphone has a persistent internet connection. Now these are the features of the smartphones. So much for smartphones, but what about the cloud? As it tends today, cloud computing is based around the idea that large industrial sized information application can serve up data to any and all comers. Now, this is the advantage. There are so many features in the smartphones, but where cloud computing stands to give the services, because the idea that large industry sized software can serve data to any smartphones. The smartphones and even the smartphones and eventually feature phones too, as well as tablets, laptops, and mobiles and internet are all cloud clients. Now, because of this advantage, where the big software can be run on the cloud and the services can be used in a very hardware limited smartphones, but the provider they need to have a touch screen or they need to have a presentation layer or a display to access these services. Well, the dynamic because two technologies are synergetic. A couple of client that requires ubiquitous services with a service that is ubiquitous. Ubiquitous means popular services like mail services, video calling services, and then messaging services, and then so many services in the smartphones. And these services are popular services. So using smartphone, you can access these popular services and then provide a combination with a nearly universal worldwide market penetration. Each technology enhance and drives to others. So people started developing applications where they can start using these ubiquitous services through their smartphone. Now, another advantage of using smartphones with the cloud technology is consider what we haven't seen yet in the smartphone that cloud can offer. Now, the big advantage of cloud is it removes the constraints of a smartphone because the major constraint for the smartphone is the hardware limitation, processing limitation, and storage limitation. With the advent of cloud computing, it removes these constraints with the mobile phones. Now, smartphones are no longer constrained by the processing power, memory, or storage capacity. The only two factors of important are network bandwidth and display quality. You have think of someone will build a equivalent of thin client services using the cloud. The only important thing of two factors is how how well your smartphone connected to the network and how much the bandwidth it can use to access the internet and also display quantity. Now, because of the cloud advent of the cloud in this mobile market, in this mobile smartphone area, it removes the constraint that nowadays the applications which are running in the smartphones does not depends on the smartphone processing power or memory or storage power, because it needs only two important factors for the smartphones: how well your smartphone is connected to the internet and how much bandwidth it can uses or it uses to connect to the application in the cloud. We also haven't seen a phone network using pairing. If you designed a phone so that each phone is a node in a large distribution network, then overall computer has almost infinite capability and the power. Some of the most powerful supercomputers in the world are built with a large number of computers and cluster computers. See, we have seen like now after the advent of these smartphones, people started connecting the processing power as well as storage power of the smartphones uh, to use it for a to run the big applications such as the applications which runs in the supercomputers. When I say commodity computers, it's the computers which are connected to the network, sitting in the idle position, not doing any processing, connected to each other. So they can use these idle computers connected to the network to run their big application, which you know that cluster are grid computing. Now, coming back to this most popular operating system used by most of the smartphones, Android is the popular operating system. Android is mobile device operating system originally developed by Android Incorporation, purchased and further developed by Google, and supported by the industry working group called as Open Handset Alliances. Now, this is Android. Android is originally developed by the developer community called as Android Incorporation, and later it is purchased by the Google and supported by the industry of people to develop this operating system. Android is based on Linux and GNU software. The software is licensed to OME under the Apache license. The current version of OS is 2.0 Froyo or Frozen A Gold. Now we have a latest Android operating system, which is a popular wait. I'll show you that. Now, Android 12 is the latest operating system, but in 2009, Android 2.2 Froyo operating system. Next to you know that Gingerbread in 2011 is the latest operating system. Phones using Android operating system were first sold by Google, branded as Nexus, one of the manufacturer of HTC. So initially, when Android operating system started in the smartphone using smartphones, Google started selling the Android operating system smartphones through as a branded name called as Nexus, and these Nexus phones are developed by HTC. A long list of these phones is maintained. I mean, you can go to the Wikipedia. Wikipedia, you can find a long list of marketing leaders who started selling the Android operating system smartphones. Leaders such as HTC Hero, Incredible, the LG Optimus, Motorola Droid, and Droid X, Samsung Galaxy, Sony Ericsson, Xperia. These are the companies started using the Android operating system to build their smartphones. As of Q2 2010, Android was the leading smartphone operating system in the US, and it sells worldwide at the rate of 5 million phones per month. Now it is more than that, but Android is when it started in 2009 and 2010. It is the most popular smartphones operating system, which is sold 5 million phones per month. It has been remarked that Windows was to a Macintosh, Android is to iPhone. But it's not like that. Google policy licensing phone, all service provider, and doing many incremental releases includes Apple's yearly releases helping Android phones to pull away from iPhone. Now this is like a competency between the iPhone and the marketing. But nowadays Android stands top at the Android operating system stands top compared to um, iPhone operating system. Android was built to serve a mobile platform for internet computing by extensions such as consumer or client for cloud computing services. The Android software is based on Java and runs in a Dalvik virtual machines. It was in 2009, but nowadays Android applications run in almost all type of virtual machines running different operating system. Among the core model are Surface Manager, OpenGL, SGL, Graphic Engine, SQLite, RDBMS. Now these are the virtual machines which helps to run the Android application designed for smartphones or phones which is having Android operating system. Okay. Notably, these are the following. When you think about the services, cloud services, uh, these are the services used by Android operating system. Google participation in the Android market has extended to offer several of its web services in the form of Android application. Notably, you find the following Google application. You can use Google Voice, the telephone services, which is part of the telephone services, Google Finance as a finance services, Google Translate, a language search program which translates one language form to another language syntax, Google Shopper, search program, it's again a search program, Google Listen, a photo catch for the players, My Track, a jogging program, Place Dictionary for the local search, Google's and image recognition programs. These were the applications, these were the services, cloud services available for Android operating system smartphones. When Google started developing a web services, these are the services which runs on the cloud and provide services to the smartphones. Voice action for the Android. Now we have several the web services for the Android smartphones. Uh, these are the previous services: Google Voice, Google Finance, Google Translate, Google Shopper, Google Listener, My Track, Place Directory, Google Giggles to search through the image, Google Chrome to phone extension, which sends links and information from Chrome browser to an Android phone, voice action for the Android. These are all the things, services uh, used by the developed by the Google for providing services for providing services to the applications which runs in the Android operating system. The last two applications are new and worth a moment to consider. Google Chrome to phone extension places a button in your Chrome browser that can push the link or map selected text. Now this is nowadays nobody uses these things. And another important is cross reference. The Android market is available on Android phone through the market application. Not all phones comes with the market pre-installed. Market is a utility for downloading Android package files, APK, which say Android package files from the Android directory, where they require Linux root to access a view and modify the application. That means when the Android smartphone is started, most of the people who develop the applications can uh, create their applications, and then it can be used in the smartphones through APK, Android package file. So using APK, you can install your applications on the Android phone and you can run the applications. These are the few applications which uses APIs. So using this, like you can see, you can use Runkeeper free applications, APIs, Wi-Fi analyzer as APIs, and then Galcon, Time Mobiles, Pasma, News, and other things. Okay. Next, Apple iPhone. So Apple iPhone is considered to be the by many people to be the leading internet-enabled smartphones in the market today. But the first generation of the iPhone, running the iPhone OS, appeared in January 2007, and in every subsequent year, Apple has released a next generation of the model. So the current generation is iPhone 4. Now we have iPhone 12 or iPhone 13, I think, which runs iOS operating system, the Apple iPhone, and the iTouch, which is software, Apple software, which is used to download the iPhone applications. The iPhone is really a handheld computer more than a phone. Uh, the current model ships with two camera for video telephony, FaceTime, GPS navigation, three-axis accelerometer, and gyroscopic sensors, proximity sensors, and number of other built-in devices. Upon its introduction, the iPhone was noted for its multi-touch capacitive touchscreen, which accepts finger input and gestures, something that has become more common today. So these are the features of the iPhone application. Of course, nowadays we have many features in Android application as well as iPhone applications. But these are the earlier features of the iPhone applications, like it uses a lot of sensors and multi cameras and proximity sensor, gyroscopic sensors, uh, to do multiple activities, like to get the gesture from the multi-touch capacity resolutions or multi-touch capacitive touch screen, which accept the finger and finger input and gesture. So something that has become more common today. The iPhone is like the iPad, before it is managed with the Apple iTunes program. So iPhone, like iPod, before we have iPod services before, which is managed by the Apple iTunes program. It would be hard to overestimate the impact of iTunes has had on music industry, and that the app stores has as a smartphone industry. So they have like iPad services as well as iTunes services. iTunes services were majorly popular in the music industry. So developing a such application as iTunes, Apple companies found it difficult to develop the same kind of popularity with the Apple iTunes for the applications which is having uh, which having applications which runs on the smartphones through iPhone smartphones application. So that's why they started Apple Store. So what Apple did with the Apple Store is create ununified distribution with a large install based and automated server push and client core update services. They started developing the application of softwares which is needed to run in a iPhone servers. This in turn gives developer a large install base or devices to write and uniform set of tools to write within and a mechanism for monitoring their application. As a result, applications for the iPhone got much cheaper and modern applications uh, lost in prices. It made up in a volume. Apple did for a mobile applications what eBay did to imagine today's successful smartphone platform that does not also comes with the applications library services. So Apple started developing their own n number of distributed applications which can be installed in iPhones, so that the price of the application started getting down. So people who use the iPhones, they can, with a low price, they can use the applications developed by the Apple Store, which is available through the Apple Store. Different, like we have Play Store, Android Play Store. Similarly, they have Apple iStore in which they can download many of the applications. The iPhone connects to the internet either through Wi-Fi, uh, wide area GSM or global system for mobile communication with GSM or Edge enhanced data transfer for GSM evolution network. Wi-Fi is an 802.11 standard, while GSM and Edge are the cellular phone network. Now, Apple started developing their Apple comes with the uh, technology which connects to the internet using Wi-Fi or GSM or Edge technology. When it comes to Wi-Fi, they use 802.11 standard, described by IEEE